older generation to the aging bull market. A group of Citi strategists is saying that the bull market, which is now 11 years old, the longest in history, may be old, but don't count it out to add a few years or candles on the birthday cake. They are forecasting more gains for the global stock markets, led by the S&P 500, which right now is up 16 points. Now, if a global recession is avoided, Citi sees that the S&P hits 3,300 by the end of 2020. That would be about a 14% gain from yesterday's close. The S&P right now, we're watching it at the moment as it rises, but the markets, yes, they've recovered from the steep spasm, as I keep calling it, following what came out this morning, the ISM non-manufacturing or services miss. Can this bull market continue to do what the Citi people say, see further gains through 2020, or are the fears of a recession too crippling? To the floor show, and Sarge Guilfoyle, stocks recovered quite quickly today. They didn't yesterday, and then the belief is that, it's because the Fed will swoop in and save the day. So what do you think? Does this bull market continue to run because the Fed is there putting pillows down near every pothole, basically?
Well, it's not just the Fed, it's also the ECB. And come November, there probably is going to be some easy money coming into the marketplace. So while we spoke about this, I've been defensive, and I probably will maintain that posture into the later part of October. I do think by November, it might be time to get a little more aggressive, probably for an increase in valuations. But going back to what Citi said, in case there's no recession, if the Mets made the playoffs, well, I guess they would have made the playoffs. What the heck does that mean? I'll tell you what. I'll tell the Citi guy what, because he's not looking at the same things I am. The 1 year now is inverted with the 2 year. The 6-month T-bill is inverted with the 2 year, about 29 basis points. What does that tell me? That tells me there is an increased risk of recession going out somewhere between 6 months and 2 years. And then it's flat. It's flat from 2 years through 5 years, which means if there is a recession, it's going to last 3 to 5 years. We have a lot to worry about, a lot to price in, and a lot of uncertainty. And I don't like guys who qualify things like that. Just say what you mean. Say something real to the people and let them act on it.
Oh, right. He doesn't like guys who say that, Alan Nuckman. And he talked about the Mets. The Cubbies fired their coach, the guy who crossed the Rubicon and got them finally to the World Series win. Unbelievable. But can we see a win for the bull market again and again and again?
That's a whole nother topic when we talk baseball. But let's get to the markets. It's about price, not policy. And you can see the S&P just 2 weeks ago on that Thursday, we were 6 points away from the all-time forever high in the S&P. So, we're not dead yet. I will second that motion from Citi. And today we saw new 30-day plus lows and looks like probably a higher close. That can be very, very positive. The VIX is back below 20 once again. So even with the sell-off yesterday, that was short-lived, as we've seen over and over. Now we get earnings that come out here in the middle of the month. So that's going to get us back to the fundamental facts of how much profit corporations are making. Plus, it looks like we're getting a rate cut here in October. So we got a lot of positives. Stocks are still the place to be.
We've got some headlines hitting the tape right now from the Dallas Federal Reserve, the President Robert Kaplan. Here's what he's saying. Now, of course, we got the ISM services number, which was a total miss. It's not contracting yet like manufacturing, right. But he's saying he's watching the services sector extremely carefully, but that we should not overreact to one report. But he then goes on to say 2 rate cuts this year reduce the likelihood of severe slowdown. Doesn't eliminate it, but he also then said that he's hearing from a lot of businesses that are putting on hold things amid the trade war uncertainty. Strong consumer he still sees. What do you think, Phil? And he also says time will tell if rate cuts have gone too far.
I could have wrote those
or
notes.
Far enough.
I think he's absolutely right. Exactly. I think he's absolutely right. The bottom line is that everybody is freaking out over 1 month. And even with us being a little bit weak, we're still the best house in a bad neighborhood. The rest of the world's slowing down. There could be some trickle-down effect. But I think the point is correct. The central banks around the globe have been seeing this coming, except for our Fed, which has been behind the curve a little bit. So there's been proactive actions, with the Fed repos and with money back in the system to keep the expansion going. And I think that where we're at right now, in the way this market turned around, we're a lot closer to at least a temporary bottom. It was kind of interesting. You and I were on with the close yesterday. It looked like the world was ending. Normally in a market like that, when you get to that official close, right at the close of our show that you have to watch every day, and you see that market start to come down, and then I'm looking at the order flows, and I start to see buy orders start to come in.
Right.
That gives me a sense that things are starting to stabilize.
Okay,
It's like, if you're panicking, it'd be sell,
Are you
sell,
seeing
sell,
that now?
sell.
I mean, we're looking at the Dow moving a bit higher now. It's up 81, and perhaps it's on Kaplan's comments, but we'll watch it. We'll watch it all. Gentlemen, thank you.
Hey, you know what, Phil and Liz? I'm so happy that the head of the Dallas Fed is watching the macro closely. It makes my heart feel so much better. I mean,
I feel better
give me a break, man. This is your job. And you know why? You know why the central banks are always behind the 8 ball? Because they are data dependent. To be data dependent means you have already swung and missed. You have to be ahead. You have to be anticipatory. You might be wrong once or twice, but you've got to figure out what's going to come, what you think's going to come, and take your best shot.
Let me just quickly add this.
Sarge is on it today.
He is repeating the view that if you wait until weakness in the broader economy is manifested, they will have waited too long. Okay, I know what you're going to say. We've got to run. Sarge, always so supportive of the Fed and its decisions. Hey, great to see all of you guys. Thank you very much. The trade wars are about to make your Brie and Chateau Lafite much more expensive. Yes, your parties, who knows what. Stay tuned. We are coming right back with that story. You've got to hear what tariffs are now going to hit.